Alright, Xena said, Gabrielle, today I got a rant. About what? PBS. These so-called, good Farsi or folk work, which folks say is not owned by anyone. They're like, it's owned by they say it's owned by all the all the learned businesses. Oh, it's owned by the Gaverreich share near law moats. Oh, it's not owned by anyone. Yeah, that's right. And they have a double standard. They'll go out and they'll get a deal for show like, we'll say, Miss Fisher's slaying unknowns, and then get pissed off when they saw things in it they didn't like. That is so sad. They don't even take the time to watch any of the things before they get a deal with it, and then they bitch about it after the fact. And you wonder, how did Miss Fisher's slaying unknown even get on PBS? I don't know. Some oversight. What I guess happened, Gabrielle said, they looked at the show and say, it's 1928 in the southern land. Oh, no way. It's about some woman who is a withdrawal breakdowner. No way we're going to see folks being slain. No way that Freeney, I guess it's Freeney, yeah. No way that Freeney Fisher would be Freeney, that Freeney Fisher would be sleeping around, God forbid. I mean, geez, did they even read the books? No, they didn't even know the books, because compared to the show, the books are a life of its own. Well, you're right about that. I mean, the same shit that PBS was bitching about Miss Fisher, they were bitching about us. WB had the same heart strikes going on. Oh, Xena, there's too much fighting going on. Oh, no, too much love going on. I mean, there were some love scenes in your show, Mother. Not as many, but there were some. And what did folks bitch about? The fighting. So Freeney, I guess Freeney. Frine, I guess it's like Freen, I guess. Not Freeney, yeah. Freeney. Yeah, well, guess what? Freeney Fisher's my friend. And he doesn't know how to say that name right. It's spelled Phryne, which I guess would be Freen, or Freeney, I guess. Or Freeney, or Freeney, I guess. I don't know. Frine. What the F in it? No, Freeney. Yeah. Yeah, she is our friend. And it's kind of sad we never got no dolls made off of her. I mean, stop to think of it, Mother. All the over things they could have made, but they didn't. No, one cloud looked and said, do we need to have dolls? Well, it only ran for about 3 sagas before they were done with it. Then it had to film in 2020, and that was it. I guess they looked and said, yeah, no, who's going to want to buy these dolls? But the whole grounds behind it is that PBS is something to keep away from. Anyone that gets a deal with that folk work has to deal with their cleaning and their skimming and their shifting, because nothing's never good enough for them. And the shows that somehow meet their standards, which I hardly doubt any show would meet their standards, and they're the kind of same folks that are ashamed to be in the Farsi or folk work business. They go around and say, we're all about good learning and, and shit like that. Well, here's what I don't get. These are the folks that were bitching about Freeney Fisher were the same folks that were all about Dick Tracy. And Dick Tracy lived in the same world. Oh, but Dick Tracy's from the 401 Reichs, and it's he's a 401 Riker, so PBS folks could look the other way. But since Freeney is, we'll say, a Southernlander, formerly a Englander, oh, well, we have to freak out. And they're going to say it's not the same thing. Yes, in Dick Tracy, Gabrielle, there was shooting going on. There was all kinds of, sins and misdeeds going on. The same thing in Freeney and Miss Fisher's slaying unknowns. Double standard, PBS. Double standard. Well, Mother, at the end of the day, I think you're glad that PBS never picked up our show. If PBS picked up our show, everyone who oversaw PBS, Gabrielle, would have a stroke. They would have a heart strike. They would. They would bitch about the fighting. They would bitch about the curse words. They would also bitch about the love scenes, which there are some in it. Not as many, but there are some in it. Well, you're right, Mother. Even our show would not meet the standards of PBS because they would be bitching about all the fighting. They'd be bitching about all the lovemaking, which are with some. And our show wouldn't meet the standard either. That's right.